We interviewed Bob, a network administrator for the city of Fort Erie with 150 users, depending on him and his colleague for 10 sites. We are going to discuss the topology of his network and the hardware involved. He has AirFiber for point-to-point connections and fiber optics to connect sites with multiple routers, firewalls, Layer 2 managed switches, access points for Wi-Fi, and a collapsed backbone topology. Each site has its own dedicated LAN. There is a main storage area network and multiple network-attached storage devices distributed throughout the WAN. We will discuss security policies Bob has in place, such as new hires being provided with security awareness training and a secure terminal for remote access. We will conclude a discussion what we have learned, advice from Bob, and what to expect in the workforce.
With 150 users over the 10 sites, each user depends on specific hardware that is required to do their job. This specific hardware ranges from switches and routers to cables and client workstations. Starting from the backbone of the network, multi-mode fiber is used to connect the ISP to the distribution level and to the routers and Layer 2 switches. From there, Cat5e is used at the access level to connect client/server devices and voice-over IP devices. AirFiber is a point-to-point connection via satellite tower. It connects to remote sites so that they can communicate with each other given that they are within a line of sight. If they are not within a line of sight of the tower, VPN connection is used back to the main headquarters. The type of storage devices that is used is network area storage and storage area network. Storage area network is at the main site, which stores all the server's data. Network area storage is used at the remote sites and is used to back up and synchronize between the sites.
From what we learned about security for this company, they do not provide enough security awareness training, and they acknowledge that it's something that they need to work on. VPN is not available to users. Instead, they have a secure terminal gateway that only selected individuals have access to. This means that it prevents users from having administrative rights on local machines, eliminating the chance that a user could install malicious software. As a security precaution, a guest network has been created for the guest. The guest network is segmented from the main network, so when guests connect, they do not have access to the main network and its resources. When they go through the orientation process, they are required to sign a staff usage policy, so they are aware of the consequences that arise if they break policy. Staff also goes through a training session from what they can and cannot do.
In conclusion, Bob's biggest challenge was completing operations and projects with the minimal staffing of 2 network administrators. His network seems straightforward to what we have learned in class: servers and fiber optics at the backbone, with switches at the distribution level and end-user devices at the access level. Security training is a little lacking, but using a terminal services gateway instead of a VPN is where we see the only deviation from our learning. We learned during the semester that VPNs are a good way to create a secure connection to remote sites through an untrusted network, aka the internet. Bob is using Terminal Services Gateway, which is a service that is installed with Windows Server distributions. This allows remote connections for authorized users to connect to the corporate's network. It includes a snap-in for the Microsoft Management Console, allowing configuration of policies that define conditions for remote users to connect. With their small scale, we can see this being the better and cheaper option. However, he is using a VPN for sites that are not within line of sight, just not for user remote access. Bob's biggest success while working with the network is the network uptime, again with only the 2 network administrators, a limited budget, and limited hardware upgrades. We recommend they upgrade to a distributed backbone instead of a collapsed backbone. This will allow more network devices to support the backbone, as there are 10 sites. This allows for more fault tolerance, removing a single point of failure, and increases network speed. More network security training for their employees and more staff will reduce their downtime, hopefully to a 5.9 rating. Upgrading the hardware every 3 years instead of the 5 to 7 they are currently seeing. They can also upgrade their NASs to SANs over time. This seems to come all down to an increased budget, which is not an easy thing to come by.
From what we have learned from Bob, we can expect a few things before entering the workplace. we can expect to see a lot of security training for us and the other employees. With so much work involved in setting up a network, it is a lot of work for limited employees. The network infrastructure course has greatly helped us prepare for different types of networks. We came into this course having a general knowledge of networks. Now we can specifically pinpoint different network devices and understand how they work. This will help us eventually set up a network. Thank you for listening.